If we don't try things out as leaders, how do we navigate the complexity to even build the company bigger and scale it?
Yeah. So, well, if people aren't trying new, again, I live in a different world, right? I haven't worked in legacy really, with one exception, two of the last like 27 years, right? So I'm not the right person. I think it's a different world. But I mean, when you come into organizations that the ones I come into, and they're either exponential growth startups or they're burn it down, rip it down, build it back up, turnarounds. And so I think there's three pillars that I live by. And by the way, the great thing about this doesn't matter what the industry is, it doesn't matter how big the company is, or this works every single time. I've been coaching this for a decade or more. And then that is I've got three pillars I stand by every single time, like things we have to do now. And one is we have to create scalable and sustainable process. Like we can't come up with this game plan. This is how we're going to run the company. But then when we get to this size, we're going to have to rip it down and then rejigger it and do the whole thing. It doesn't work. It's crazy talk, whatever. This is where you see companies with 9 employees and they've got Salesforce, and you're like, you what? What in the world? Why are you paying that? Like, what do you're going to have to come up with a game plan where there's some scalability in the whole. The second one after process and procedures is having diverse and exponential revenue strategies, meaning revenue strategy in this case, I mean go to market and revenue. And you need to have more than one product. You need to be able to sell that product to more than one entity. I don't care if it's growth regionally, geographically. I don't care if it's vertical, an industry type, whatever. But you got to have different pitches, different ways to go about things. You got to have, different ways where you're hitting people, whether it's, through CRMs or through LinkedIn or whatever it is, and there's got to be, diverse and exponential ways to make money, right? You can't be that person who's just doing the one thing and then hoping and praying for the best. And which means there's got to be some go to markets are going to be better than others, right? And hey, we're going to do 70% of the time on this go to market, 20% on our B, and 5% on our third, fourth, and fifth options. I'm going to kind of dip our toe in the market. And then last but not least is the talent approach. So again, scalable and sustainable process procedures, diverse and exponential revenue strategies to establish those. And the last one's the talent approach. And a lot of it's what we're talking about right now. You're not hiring people to fill holes today. You're hiring people to fill holes today who also have the potential and the competence to fill the bigger holes later on as you build, scale, and grow this and make it better. And if your game plan is you're always hiring round pegs to fill round holes, boy, you are going to spend an awful lot of money. And probably one of the real benefits over the years, or so many years I did startups. Turns out you got a lot of things at startups, but cash isn't one of them. And so you better be better at doing this. And onboarding and hiring is arguably the biggest black hole inside of almost any organization. So if you can control those costs, the world becomes a much simpler place.